Welcome back. Now, the renewed Global Action Plan is the second generation document of the original Cape Town Global Action Plan for Sustainable Development data launched at the first forum in 2017, reflecting the aspirations of wider stakeholders fostered by the forum over the past 7 years. Now, the UN World Data Forum aims to spur data innovation, nature partnerships, mobilize high-level political and financial support for data, and to build a pathway for better data for sustainable development. Now, this is the 5th United Nations World Data Forum that is currently being held in Medellin, Colombia, from the 12th to the 15th of November 2024. Now, joining us with more details is Stefan Schweinfest, who is the Director of the UN Statistics Division. Good morning, Stefan, and welcome to Good Morning, Namibia.
Hello, good morning in Namibia. Good evening from Medellin, Colombia.
Okay, let's get right into it. Now, we know that the UN World Forum 2024 is being hosted by the government of Colombia with the support from the National Bureau of Statistics of Colombia and other stakeholders. What are the key objectives of this 5th United Nations World Data Forum that is currently taking place in Medellin?
Thank you very much for your interest. First of all, I am very far away from you. I just looked it up on the map. I'm 10,500 kilometers away, but I'm very happy that we are connected, and I really appreciate that you are interested in our United Nations World Data Forum. As you correctly said, this is the 5th forum. The first forum was held in 2017 in Cape Town, very close to where you are right now. And the objectives of the forum are really to bring people, data stakeholders from all over the world together to share experiences, especially on data innovation, and to work together in partnership across different sectors, government, private sector, civil society, and academia, and get high-level and financial support for data that are so critically important for our United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda.
Indeed, one cannot overemphasize the importance of data since it's required to make informed decisions. Now, we understand that since 2017, the forum has grown from 2,000 people who attended the first forum in Cape Town, South Africa, to an active list of over at least 20,000 interested stakeholders. Are you able to share of those specific themes and topics that will be covered or highlighted during this year's forum?
Yes, the forum is an important and a unique space to bring people from all over together. As I mentioned before, this year we have almost 3,000 participants from over 120 countries that are gathering here these 3 days. And we are talking about innovation for better data, maximizing the use and the value of data, and building trust. And we're talking a lot about ethics in data. Also, following the United Nations Summit of the Future, the forum's program is very much concentrated on the future of data and statistics. And about 2/3 of our technical sessions have a focus on youth, climate, and environment, data literacy and data science, and in particular, artificial intelligence.
Indeed, it's indeed cumbersome, and also depends on other activities such as the Forum for the Future, which the Namibian president co-chaired with that's the Chancellor of Germany. Now, let's talk about the main objectives of the renewed Global Action Plan compared to the original Cape Town Global Action Plan, which was launched in 2017 at the first forum. What's the difference between the two?
The Cape Town Global Action Plan came right in the aftermath of the Sustainable Development Goals, so it was very much focused on the SDGs and what was needed to build the data infrastructure for countries in order to support the Sustainable Development Goals. It was adopted by our Statistical Commission, but a lot of things have happened since, of course. Our data ecosystem has broadened. We have now big data in the private sector. We have geospatial information. We also have a lot of technological developments like artificial intelligence, and we have new global concerns like climate change and biodiversity. So all of this is now included in our second edition. And we will call this second edition the Medellin Framework for Action on Data for Sustainable Development. And it really covers all the areas that I mentioned also earlier: innovation, on modernization for better and more inclusive data and statistics, the use and the value of data and statistics for better decision making, institutional leadership in the building of trust, protection, and ethics of data, and partnerships to mobilize resources and coordinate efforts to develop data and statistical capacity.
Talking about this renewed global action plan, how does it propose to enhance implementation of the SDGs? And, talk to us about the importance of, when implementing SDGs, how crucial is the data?
Well, data is extraordinarily important. I mean, many people at the beginning thought only about data as a monitoring device, as an ex post measure after things have happened. But that is an erroneous view of the power of data. Data actually are a tool to implement an agenda, to drive the agenda, to know where we have to invest. And that is particularly important as we at this point have slightly disappointing news, in the sense that our 2024 report from my statistics division of the United Nations said that we have only reached 17% of the SDG targets, and we are on track on only that small number. So we need a boost for data, and we have a United Nations initiative for the power of data that is calling for awareness raising, fundraising, because investments need to be made into better statistics, and in particular, new global partnerships, so that private, public, different countries, everybody works together towards this goal to make data the motor for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Now, this is the fifth UN World Data Forum. Talk to us about those actionable outcomes or commitments that you expect. You talked about the fact that we have only so far met approximately 17% implementation of the SDG. What will be different this time around from the meeting that you're having in Colombia? Or what do you hope that will be different?
I am glad you corrected yourself to say, what do I hope as a chief statistician to be different? Because of course we cannot control this world. We have this new Medellin framework, which is a call for action, and it will be adopted by the United Nations. And in that respect, it will become a guiding principle for governments around the world. And it is fairly comprehensive, including technical advice, including advice for investments and partnerships, as I said earlier, and also including advice on administrative and legal arrangements that can strengthen a national data system. We are talking a lot about good data governance these days. But on top of this formal document, we also have launched a commitment campaign. And right now we have had over 60 commitments where people can register their commitments. And they are rather diverse. We have commitments at the global level from some donors who promise to invest into data in the next couple of years. We have some commitments at very basic local levels, where some municipalities commit to develop a comprehensive data strategy for themselves. And we have also, for instance, a commitment from the private sector, from Google, to support the global community with its technology.
Now, the forum facilitates networking between stakeholders, including data experts as well as policymakers. How will this Medellin framework maybe perhaps be different from the other one? We know that in terms of stakeholders and those that are interested, have grown from 2,000 and approximately to 20,000 stakeholders in line with this, the importance of data. What will the Medellin framework be doing that is so different when it comes to engaging between different stakeholders, which includes data experts as well as policymakers when it comes to data?
I am very proud to report that our data community, and I call these people our data friends around the world, has grown so much. And it has not only grown in numbers, it has also grown in scope. As you rightly mentioned, there are data producers and there are data users. And it has also grown in scope as we have many more participants now from the private sector and from civil society, because we have a number of segments where we are talking about civil society reporting of data, and that will be particularly important to get information on vulnerable groups that are sometimes overlooked in the official measurement of social development. So I am fairly confident that this broadened scope, the broadened family of concerned people who are making commitments to work together will help us to build more solid data and statistical infrastructures and architectures in each country to have better and stronger and higher quality data to drive our development agendas.
Okay. Now, as we conclude our conversation, what role do you see for young people and innovative data solutions in achieving the goals set out in the renewed Global Action Plan?
I'm very happy to report that we have a very strong participation of young people here. We have had young representatives and youth leaders from all over the world, also from Africa. I'm happy to report that we have over 200 registered participants from Africa. Normally, the region where the forum is held will always dominate a little bit, which is exactly one of the reasons why the United Nations travels this World Data Forum around the world. But this time it's in Latin America, and Latin America has made a strong commitment also to youth involvement and local involvement. And I can tell you we have had some very provocative voices on some of the panels. Young people are asking for action, are asking for a place at the table to voice what kind of data will be needed to especially shed light on vulnerable groups. And we have also had, as one part of the event, a so-called datathon, which was an event where we gave young people a set of data and we challenged them within 24 hours to merge statistical and geospatial information on Medellin. We gave them a complete data set. It was sort of a task. And we worked together with a university and an innovation center here in Colombia. And they had to come up with solutions and proposals how to improve policy decision making, especially regarding social and environmental factors. And I'm happy to say that many young people participated, not only here locally, but also virtually. And we are just reviewing the results, and we will be able to announce a winner at the end of this forum.
Well, Stefan Schweinfest, thank you very much for making time to speak to us this morning. And may this World Data Forum that is currently being held in Medellin, Colombia, that started on the 12th and ending tomorrow the 15th, be a success.
Thank you very much for your interest and the opportunity to talk to you and your audience.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, that was Stefan Schweinfest, who's the director of the UN Statistics Division, talking to us about the 5th United Nations World Data Forum that is currently being held in Medellin, Colombia. It started on the 12th of November and it concludes this coming Friday, the 15th of November 2024. Stay tuned. We continue more conversations after this break.